thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Hockey Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you guys today, where we're going to be starting off by talking about some breaking news from the NHL world that just got released about a half hour ago. Next, I will discuss the games from Saturday night. After that, I'll be breaking down the games from Sunday night. We will talk then about the conclusion of the Canucks-Oilers game, as Carson Soucy is announced to have gotten a one-game suspension on a cross-check for Connor McDavid. And make sure you stick around for later in the show, when I will conclude today's show by previewing the games for Monday night. Before we start, however, I'd like to ask that you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read live on air, I ask that you use the tips and donations link that you see on the screen right now at gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also really helps the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Alright guys, so we're going to get right into the first topic here, where we're going to be talking about Valeri Nichushkin, a forward on the Colorado Avalanche. He is getting suspended 6 months without pay. This I saw Frank Cervalli was the first one that I saw report on this, but this is a decision coming out of the NHLPA's camp. He got put into stage 3 of NHLPA rehabilitation or some program. He got him put stage 3 of that program, which means a minimum of 6 months without pay. After that sixth month, he can apply for reinstatement. So what this means for Valeri Nichushkin is he is confirmed out for the rest of these of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. He is also going to miss the start of the next regular season up until November. What day is it today? November 13th, because the decision got ruled on today. So he is out for guaranteed 6 months up until November 13th. This is a big blow for the Colorado Avalanche. He is currently their leading scorer on a team with Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, Jonathan Drouin, these guys that are known scorers in the NHL. Valeri Nichushkin is the one that's leading them in goal scoring. He has been playing amazing in these playoffs, but it's so unfortunate for the Colorado Avalanche now to be without him. There was speculation, and I think this was also reported on by Frank Cervalli, that he potentially failed a drug test, and to be put in stage 3 of this program, it must be, not any typical drug. It must have been something a little bit stronger than what we normally see in the headlines for athletes. That's just all speculatory, so I'm not going to make any really harsh allegations on that. But let me tell you, that is an absolute shock when we're talking about, this run that the Colorado Avalanche are on is really based through him. They were able to dispose of the Winnipeg Jets so easily because he was just firing on all cylinders in that first round. And he, continued that in Game 1 against the Stars. And he hasn't been able to be really that same guy in Game 2 or Game 3. But you were really looking for him tonight as they play tonight, which leaves, the Avalanche kind of scrambling to fill that spot. I saw on some projected lineups that it's Jonathan Drouin, who is currently a game time decision to be able to play, but it looks like he'll fit right into that Valeri Nichushkin first line right wing spot, which is a big downgrade for the Colorado Avalanche. Jonathan Drouin is a pretty good scorer in his own right. However, you're talking about a guy that has the current lead in the playoffs in goals, and you're missing that guy. And, man, that is disappointing. Valeri Nichushkin was last away from the Avalanche to receive care from the NHL and NHLPA program in January until he was from January until he was cleared to practice with the team in late February. It looks like this is just an ongoing issue, which probably made his sentencing a little bit worse than what you normally would see. But this is definitely a harsh punishment, and this is now the second playoff run in a row that the Colorado Avalanche are scrambling to fill that spot because Valeri Nichushkin was unable to play. I believe last year he also got suspended. A lot of speculation on that one too. but it's definitely a huge blow for the Avs. You can't really make an understatement for this. So what does this mean for the Colorado Avalanche playoff push? Let me tell you. The Colorado Avalanche have been great this year and have been great in this postseason, mostly because of their scores, mostly because you've been gaining that production from your superstars, your Cale Makars, your Valeri Nichushkin, your Nathan MacKinnon, and now you're without one of those guys, and that could be an absolutely huge blow for them. Really, no understatement here. This could make them lose this Dallas Stars series. What's a little bit funny is before this got announced, I had my script all written up. I had all my show notes for this one all done, and then this news comes out, and I have to delete one of my segments, which was talking about a little breakdown of the series so far, a little bit of recapping what we've seen in these series, and giving you guys my predictions for the rest of the way. But it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that one. And what's unfortunate for the Avs is I had them Avs in 6. I thought that they were going to take the next 3 straight from the Dallas Stars. I think that their superstars have been underperforming in these playoffs. Or, sorry, not in these playoffs, but in this round of the playoffs. They scored a ridiculous 5.60 goals per game against the Winnipeg Jets. And it's been a little... they've settled down a little bit. You're going up against Jake Ottinger, who... I would say is on the same level as Connor Hellebuyck. It just seems like Connor Hellebuyck doesn't really know how to play hockey when it comes to April and May. But really, you have Jake Ottinger, who has just had all of these guys' numbers, and I thought that was going to change, and I thought that the Avalanche were going to be able to break through in this Game 4 that we're going to see. I do still expect them to win. We'll talk more on that preview. Of course, this is going to be a big topic on that preview. We're going to talk about that in the 5th segment tonight. However, let me tell you, this is a huge blow for the Colorado Avalanche. I really can't emphasize this enough. You're missing your first line right winger, your number 1 goals production. He has 10 points in these playoffs. He really helped them so much when it came to that Winnipeg Jets series, and helped them in Game 1 of this series. And expecting him to turn it around. Nathan MacKinnon is really good. He can definitely play. He could definitely adapt to whoever plays on that right wing, and you still have Mika Rantanen on this team. You still have Mika Rantanen on your left wing. But let me tell you, there's going to be guys that need to step up. You're looking at probably like a Zach Parise to step up. That's a guy that's looking to slot in on that second line right wing. Maybe Arturi Lehkonen needs to step up. You have a lot of guys who you're going to need to call on, who kind of had that luxury of being those third line guys who, if they scored, it's great, but you're not really expecting them to. You're just expecting them to give you good minutes. But now you're going to need to see that offensive production out of guys like Zach Parise, maybe guys like Jonathan Drouin, who is directly filling in for Valeri Nichushkin. But this is, you can't really replace that production. This is going to go to like that kind of Moneyball point where you're talking about replacing the production in the aggregate. For those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, in Moneyball, you saw the Oakland Athletics in the early 2000s lose guys like Johnny Damon and I'm blanking on the other guy's name, but they lost a bunch of superstars from their team, and instead of going out and since they didn't have money to sign other great guys, you have to replace it in the aggregate, meaning you're going to need to sign like 4 guys that can do the work of what these 2 guys were able to do. So you're going to need to see that with the Colorado Avalanche. I think you're going to need to replace Valeri Nichushkin in the aggregate. You're going to need guys to step up all the way down this lineup that really have had, once I said like I said earlier, kind of had the luxury of being able to not have to worry about being a goal scorer, because you have guys like Nathan MacKinnon and Valeri Nichushkin who have been able to step up in these playoffs. And Mika Rantanen, who have been able to step up in these playoffs. But it's very worrisome for the Colorado Avalanche. I don't believe that they can get past the Dallas Stars anymore. And as my computer goes away, I don't believe that they can beat the Dallas Stars anymore in these playoffs. And I really worry about them if they even were able to beat the Dallas Stars. Once again, the Stars do have a 2-1 series lead on them. I'd be very worried about, going on to next year. They're there's a lot of talk right now about what the Colorado Avalanche's front office is feeling from this because, like I said, this is the second missed playoff run in a row for a guy that's 29, not really getting any younger. This seems like is something that is within his control from all the from what we're hearing, from what the news that has been reported so far is saying. This is stuff that's in his control that he just hasn't been able to control it. So it's very unfortunate for a guy like Valeri Nichushkin, who is a great goal scorer, great player in the NHL. He will be missed in these playoff runs, not just by the Avalanche, but by us fans who want to see good hockey. He's a great player. You're missing a lot on that power play for the Colorado Avalanche. So a lot of questions for what the Colorado Avalanche's front office is going to do kind of as a reactive decision from this news that is breaking. You're also missing him for the first 2 months of the regular season, which is a good amount of time. You're not really worried about the Avalanche not making the playoffs next season. And if anybody's worried about that, I'll put those to bed real quick. This is still a great squad. But I don't think that they're able to beat those other really great contenders. I've been talking about it with this series specifically, the veteran depth versus the superstars. The veteran depth on the Stars, or on the Dallas Stars, and the superstars on the Colorado Avalanche. Well, you're losing one of your superstars now for the Colorado Avalanche. So you're going to really need your depth to step up now. And that's not really within your wheelhouse. You don't really have that amazing depth like the Dallas Stars do to be able to step up in there. So a lot of questions for the Colorado Avalanche, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they proceed from now on. But that'll wrap up our first segment, and when I come back from my break, we will be talking about the playoff games from Saturday night.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alright guys, we are back talking about the playoff games from Saturday night. But before we talk about those playoff games, I'd like to remind you guys that the link that you see on the screen right now, GSMCpodcast.net, if you guys have any questions, comments for me that you want me to, react to, talk about, discuss with you guys, go ahead and use that link for the tips and donations, or you could put it in the chat as well. I might be able to see it for you guys. Once again, the link for you is GSMCpodcast.net. But without further ado, we're going to talk about the playoff games from Saturday night. You have two great games here. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Dallas Stars. The Carolina Hurricanes were able to warn off the Dallas Stars. Carolina Hurricanes were able to warn off the New York Rangers. Sorry, I was looking at the Stars. Were able to warn off the New York Rangers to bring that game back to New York for a Game 5. That game is currently being played right now. And out of curiosity for you guys, because we do this live, the Carolina Hurricanes won 4-1. So they make that series 3-2. And that's going to be very interesting. We'll talk about that game. I have a little preview for that game, but I'm going to probably react more to that score line when we get into our fifth segment. But yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes 3-1 now in this series after this game, 3-2 after the other game. Now you're going back to New York. Now you're going back to Carolina, I guess, for Game 6. But just a game recap, you have Kuznetsov. He's the guy that got the Carolina Hurricanes on the board early, jumping out to a 1-0 lead with a high shot that beats Igor Shesterkin. Kuznetsov, I believe, was on a little bit of an odd-man rush coming down the wing, and he just fires it right over the shoulder of Igor Shesterkin for that first goal. It was kind of weird goal for Igor to let up. You don't really see him giving those, those easy goals. People don't snipe on him very easily. It usually takes a deflection goal. It usually takes a move that just would beat any goalie. It usually takes something like that beats Igor Shesterkin. But Kuznetsov just snipes it right over him, and it was a great goal from Evgeny Kuznetsov. And it was great for the Hurricanes to be able to see that puck kind of beat Igor. That's been their struggle throughout this entire series. Igor Shesterkin has been just a brick wall in net. He's been the absolute best goaltender in these playoffs. Now he's at a 2.25 goals against average. Him and really Jake Andre are fighting for the goals against average lead for goalies left in the playoffs. You do have guys at the top that didn't play in as many games. Joe Wall, Adin Hill, Thatcher Demko, who got injured, UC Saros, who is no longer in the playoffs, and Casey DeSmith, who isn't even starting for the Canucks. So those are the guys ahead of Oninger and Shesterkin. And then you have Jeremy Swayman right behind them, Sergei Bobrovsky right behind them. It's been very good goaltending in these playoffs so far, and Igor Shesterkin has kind of been the headline of that great goaltending. He's been very hard to beat, and the Carolina Hurricanes kind of had his number this game. The second goal from the Hurricanes was Stefan Nissen. He doubles the Canes' lead after a cross-crease feed met his stick from Teuvo Teravainen. It's great positioning from Stefan Nissen, and then you have a couple of Rangers defensemen who are a little bit out of position. I want to say out of position. This was a lengthy offensive zone time for the Carolina Hurricanes, and then when you get lengthy offensive zone time, you kind of get your defensemen being very reactive instead of proactive. I would say, and that was kind of their problem. Jacob Truven and Ryan Lindgren were the two defensemen on the ice for that one, and I don't know if it's really their fault for this goal, but if they're in position like they should be, it would have been stopped. But it's not really, you can't really blame that one on them directly. Igor also let up. It's a cross crease, so it's not soft, but it's Igor Shesterkin, so we've gotten to a point with this guy that you kind of expect him to make that save, which is unfair, but realistic for him. And then the Rangers were able to cut the lead in half by their fourth line. Will Kyle gets a goal. It was a pass from Capocacco that met his stick. Capocacco with very great vision on this goal to be able to find Will Kyle. There it is. That's another Ranger who needs to get going, though, Capocacco. This is a former top 3 pick in the NHL draft, kind of like Alexis Lafreniere. You saw Alexis Lafreniere step up. He's been getting even more minutes because he has been getting that great offensive production. We'll see if Capocacco can kind of follow in his footsteps. But when it came to this game, and when it comes to a lot of the Rangers game, and this is kind of what carried them through the regular season, was all 4 forward lines were great. And it wasn't really, one or the other overpowering. And on this goal specifically, there's really nothing Freddie could do. He just, Will Kyle just played, all perfect on this possession, and Capocacco had a great feed on this possession too. And then a little bit after that, you have Sebastian Aho. This guy has been carrying the Carolina Hurricanes offensively, and he's continuing to do so. He's one of the greatest players in the game, Sebastian Aho, and he's really proven it in these postseason. And I can't really talk enough good about this kid. He has got his 10th point in the last 9 games. This is the same point tally as Valeri Nichushkin had before his suspension. But that goal capped off a 4-goal first period for the Carolina Hurricanes to go up 3-1. And after that, this game was really just dead, I would say. the Rangers did very good to fight back, and they did make a comeback, but it felt the entire way like the Carolina Hurricanes kind of played better hockey. The Rangers were able to tie up this game back, but I never felt like there was a point where I felt like the Hurricanes weren't going to win this game. They needed to win this game. They played like they needed to win this game, and they did win this game, which led to a game 5 in New York that they also were able to win. So it's a little bit interesting in this series. Before I get into that, you had goals from Goodrow for the Rangers. You had Lafreniere scoring his 4th of this playoffs. Man, he's been great in this series. We talked about him needing to get going, and he absolutely has. Unfortunately, the first line for the Rangers kind of let them down in this game, which is usually not the case. So it's surprising to see. But you have, Alexis Lafreniere scoring, Brian Goodrow scoring, and then right late in the third period with 3 minutes left for the Carolina Hurricanes, they get a power play, and they were able to score on it. It's Brady Shea that scores on it. He gets his first goal of the postseason. He's been cold against the Rangers, not really having any offensive production. So it's really good for the Carolina Hurricanes to see him going. And now I'm a little bit curious. Bear with me here. I'm curious to see if he scored in this game. It's Jordan Stahl. Brady Shea, he did get an assist in this game. And this is what I was going to talk about, is when you really see goals, when you see the puck go in the net, you kind of feel better offensively, and you get more production. Even like when it comes to just assists, you just get more production, and you play a lot better when it comes onto the offensive side, and you're really going to need production from Brady Shea. This Game 5 and this Game 4, you see no points still from Seth Jarvis in this series. That's still concerning. You're going to want to see that guy step up. He led the team in scoring in the first round, so to not see him step up is a little bit worrisome. This series is going to be a good one, and this Game 5 really proved it. I'll give you my thoughts on this series a little bit later. As we flip on over to the Stars Avs game, the Stars dominated the Colorado Avalanche in this game, winning 4-1, going up 2-1 in this series. And with Valeri Nichushkin being out for the remainder of it, man, this could get a little bit scary, as the puck did just drop in Game 4 for the Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche. So yeah, you're going up 2-1 in the series. The Stars had best point percentage away from home in the regular season, and they continue that on the road against the Colorado Avalanche. They have been, like I just said, they have been great on the road the entire postseason and the entire regular season, and it continues here. This is where they battle back against the Vegas Golden Knights. If you guys don't remember, they went down 2-0 in that series, and then they were able to fight back. They won both games in Vegas, and able to fight back in that series. In this series, they do a little bit better. They do take one in their home arena, and now you're going into Colorado. They take this Game 3, and the Game 4 just got underway without Valeri Nichushkin. It could get a little bit scary for the Colorado Avalanche if they lose that game. I would say it's definitely a must-win. But for this game, let me tell you, Jake Onger completely stole this game. This was him and him alone. Maybe not him alone, but you do score 4 goals. However, he absolutely shut down the Avalanche. The Avalanche could have scored 4 or 5 times in the first period alone, but Jake Onger just completely shut the door on that. He played lights out in this game, and he's been playing lights out all playoffs. Like I just said, he is the goals against average leader in these playoffs so far. So he's been playing amazing. The Avs had many scoring chances in the first period, like I said. The puck beat Jake Onger late in the first period, but it was a defensive stick that saved it by mere inches from crossing the goal line. It just trickled past Jake Onger's 5-hole, and they were able to make sure it didn't go in the net. That was a great sign for the Dallas Stars. And after that, it really was all the Stars. You have Logan Stankoven with a snipe and Miro Heiskanen gets an assist. Miro Heiskanen has been amazing. He might be outplaying the Colorado Avalanche in this series, he might be outplaying Cale Makar in this series. He's looked really good. Miro Heiskanen, one of the best defensemen in the NHL, and he's really proving that. offensive pressure got too much, and the Avs were just scrambling on this goal specifically. And that goal came in late in the first period, and it was kind of a shock goal because, the Colorado Avalanche had been on the front foot the entire period. And then for the Dallas Stars to get that one back, really saw a lot of momentum shift, and it just seemed like the Dallas Stars were winning this game completely the entire way. The Avs tie it up with an amazing effort from Nathan MacKinnon. It's a puck that trickles past Jake Onger and Mikko Rantanen just slides it home. That was great to see if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, but that was the only moment of brilliance you really saw from the Colorado Avalanche when it came offensively in this game. But it is great to see Nathan MacKinnon kind of come with that offensive brilliance. It's playoffs, superstars need to be superstars. The Stars, with an amazing feed by Evgeny Dadonov, regained the lead, goes up 2-1. This is Tyler Seguin. This is his first of 2 goals that he scored, and Dadonov and Sam Steele with the assist. And then the Stars won the second and third period, which led to their win in this game. It's been difficult for the Stars at points in this postseason to kind of string along multiple periods, but they were able to do that in the second and third, and defensively, and Jake Onger-wise, it was unbelievable. You could say that Jake Onger in that first period really gave them that push when it came to the second and when it came to the third, as they do get 2 empty net goals at the end of the third period to make this game look a little bit more lopsided than it really was. That's why I say that Jake Onger really stole this one, because honestly, this is a 2-1 game, and Jake Onger could have let up 4 goals in that first period alone. And if he even lets up 2 of those goals, this is a completely different game. So it's really great for the Colorado Avalanche it's really great for the Dallas Stars to go into Colorado and, dominate like they did, have just a complete game offensively and defensively. So that'll do it for the Saturday night action. When I come back, we'll be talking about the games from Sunday night, as you have the Panthers and the Bruins play a great game, and then the Oilers and the Canucks. That game goes into Game 4 now. So that'll do it. We'll take our short break now.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available.
All right, guys, we are back, and we're now talking Sunday night games, where we had 2 amazing games from around the NHL. When it comes down to the second round, we saw really 2 decisive wins here. The first one, we're going to go straight into talking about the Florida Panthers taking a commanding 3-1 series lead from 3 unanswered goals to end the game. You have the Panthers and the Rangers on a really collision course, as I've been saying all year, and is kind of showing up in this game here. The New York Rangers kind of having difficulty closing out the Carolina Hurricanes, but you expect them to win one of the next 2 games. I don't think I don't know if this stat's correct, but I would be shocked if the Rangers went on a 4-game losing streak at all during the regular season, as they were the President's Trophy winners. And you have the Florida Panthers, who have been playing amazing hockey, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning, the big bad Tampa Bay Lightning, with the probably heart-winning Nikita Kucherov. And then you also, you're playing a great Boston Bruins team who just disposed of a good Toronto Maple Leafs team, and you're kind of making them look silly here. So this collision course is going to be very fun, and I'm very excited to kind of break down that series and give you guys my thoughts on that series, as I do expect that to be the final series in the East. The series that we kind of all expected to see last year but didn't in the East, as the Carolina Hurricanes were able to beat the New York Rangers in the second round there. But the Panthers take a commanding 3-1 series lead here. I wonder if the West will be able to compete with the Panthers or the Rangers here. I really think that these two teams kind of have separated themselves above anybody else. If anybody else looks like they can compete, I would say it's probably the Dallas Stars, as they're having just a very complete series against the Colorado Avalanche, as we just talked about. But I really think that the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers are just above everybody else. You're getting really good production from both goalies. Bobrovsky playing unlike a Bob really we've seen since regular season Blue Jackets Bob. And we're talking about a goalie in Igor Shesterkin that might be the best goaltender we've seen since prime Carey Price. And I would not be shocked if that is your opinion, because he is very, very good. But you have, in this game, really it was Swayman versus Bobrovsky, and it did not disappoint, as it has in all series. Jeremy Swayman and Sergei Bobrovsky have both been very, very great in these postseasons, as most goalies have been, besides Stuart Skinner, which we'll be talking about a little bit later here. But in this game, it was David Pastrnak who opens the score on the power play with an absolute rifle of a shot from the top of the left circle. You have the Bruins extend their lead then with a Brendan Carlo shot from the point that deflected off of a couple Panthers, it looked like. A deflection shot that deflects off of like two of your own guys. I don't know if Bob's stopping that one. I don't know if we can blame him on that one. Or the first one, really. I mean, that's just a fantastic shot from David Pastrnak that goes in for the first goal. So both of these goals in the first period here, both goaltenders still looked very good, though. And after this, Bobrovsky did not let up another goal. After that, those two first period goals. And then it's late in the second period that the Panthers started their comeback. It's a Lundell goal from Rodriguez and Ekblad. Ekblad played amazing in this game. After that, you have Sam Bennett. He gets a power play goal off of a rebound. You have Lundell and Rodriguez get the second points of their nights on that goal with the assist. You did have on this goal, the play was challenged by the Boston Bruins for a goaltender interference that really, I think that they had a great argument. So what kind of happened on this play was it was a rebound that Anton Lundell kind of saw right at the feet of Jeremy Swayman. Swayman wasn't able to push off to get to that puck. Because Lundell kind of gives a cross check to, I think it was Brendan Carlo, if I'm not mistaken. But he gives a cross check to a defender that's in the crease for the Bruins so that he could get to the puck and shoot it. And that cross check, it's not a cross. I mean, he like pushed him out of the way so he could get to the puck. I'm just saying cross check because for the visual here. But that pushed the defender into Jeremy Swayman, and Jeremy Swayman couldn't push off to get to the rebound, get to the puck, and then he shoots it in, and Anton Lundell gets the goal here. I really think that they had a good argument for goaltender interference here, and I was shocked when the play was upheld. I'm not in the replay booth. I'm not an official for a reason, and this might be the reason for it. This goes a long way for the Florida Panthers for the Florida Panthers comeback effort in this game. If they don't get this challenge, or if the Bruins do win this challenge, I think that might have been very deflating for the Florida Panthers. And yeah, I think that this was a very pivotal moment in the game, and I think that the Florida Panthers really won off of winning this challenge here. Right after this, later in the third period, you have Alexander Barkov with a very impressive individual effort. I mean, he's really good. He's been really good for a very long time in the NHL. But yeah, it's just a very great individual effort that saw him kind of weave from forward in between the defensemen right into the slot, and then take a shot that beats Jeremy Swayman. And a bunch of shots that really, I don't know if you could credit Jeremy Swayman for. More, defensemen just have to step up and hit that guy at that moment if he's moving to the slot and cutting in between you guys. You have got great production from the Florida Panthers kind of defense in this game. Not offensive production, but they really played well their defense played amazing in this one. And the Bruins just couldn't get that offense going again after that first period, the 2 goals that they scored. So it would be a little bit worrisome for the Boston Bruins, but I don't know if I would really be worried here. You are down 3-1 though. You got to win 3 games in a row. But you proved that you could beat this team a lot. You won game 1. You won every single one in the regular season. So I mean, you know you could beat this team. So it's gonna be interesting. I think, of course, in hockey, the hardest game to win is that 4th game. So we'll see if the Florida Panthers are able to close out the Boston Bruins in this one. And we're going to get right into the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks game now. This play right here, we're going to be talking about it a lot. I'm not going to be talking about this play. It's going to be in the next segment here. We'll give a deep dive into that. But just on the game here, the Canucks take a 2-1 series lead. Brock Besser and Elias Lindholm combined for all 4 goals. Brock Besser, everybody really thought that he had a natural hat trick in the first period. The commentators surely did. But unfortunately for him, Elias Lindholm did get credit for the first goal after a scoring review was done. So they both get 2 goals apiece. And man, Brock Besser had a near perfect first period here. And the Canucks really deserve to win this game here. The Oilers' power play got this game rolling. Of course they did. Now they're 46.4% on the power play. I'm going to keep talking about it until they prove me wrong here. It is really good. This power play is really, really good. It's crazy. You had on the 3rd goal by them. Actually, I'll talk about it when we get down to the 3rd goal. But Leon Draisaitl's, there's a reason that this power play is really good. Matthias Ekholm was the one that scores this one from great movement as the power play expired. Right after this, the Canucks, however, get a goal back on the power play as well. Brock Besser from the quarterback slot just slings this one in. It finds Elias Lindholm's stick right in the crease, and it goes in for the deflection goal. Then Brock Besser gets a snipe, gets his first of 2. He scored again with his second of the period. When goal scorers score, they really do score in bunches. He was absolutely elite tonight, and they need that form of Brock Besser. They need that guy to be an elite goal scorer, and he really was in this game. Artur Shilovs has been serviceable in Thatcher Demko's absence. That's not what I expected. I thought you were going to have to go to Casey DeSmith for the rest of this playoff run. And now there's reports that Thatcher Demko could be back as early as maybe tomorrow. I don't really expect him to be back tomorrow. I expect it more to be around Game 5 or Game 6 in this series. But, man, that would be huge for them if they could get Thatcher Demko back. Although Artur Shilovs has been great. It is hard to be worse than Stuart Skinner. I saw a report saying that Stuart Skinner is the worst goaltender on any playoff team in the expansion era. That's not good. I bet we'll do a deep dive into Stuart Skinner and why he's not doing great in these playoffs a little bit later, maybe in a different episode here. And then the Canucks go up 3-1. Draisaitl scores on the power play. What a shock here! This was from an absolutely insane angle. He scores from the goal line, basically, as he's a lefty stick. He's on the left side goal line. He barely has the stick reaching up around the net here. But man, Leon Draisaitl was good. He just ran in circles before he received the puck. He just kind of lost all of the defensemen. He literally started from that goal line that he scored from, runs around the net, gets the puck from back the net, passes it up, then runs around through the slot, then finds a spot on the right hash mark, receives the puck, goes down low, and scores from an impossible angle. That's really what this Edmonton Oilers power play is just players and people just rotating and always moving, and it's very difficult, especially when you're a man down, to kind of keep track of all these guys, and that's what they do so well. However, the Canucks were able to extend their lead on the power play. Man, the special teams battle in this game was very great. Special teams was working on both sides. So what's really decided the series so far, as you know, usually it's special teams that's deciding series, is the kind of additive that people say in the NHL. But man, it was the 5-on-5 for the Canucks. They just way outplayed the Oilers in this game, and they've really been outplaying the Oilers in the entire series here. And you got to give the Canucks credit for keeping up with the Oilers' power play production. It's hard to keep up with 46.4% on the power play, but they're doing it pretty well. The Oilers score with their net empty, but could not get a second as they dropped this Game 3 at home here. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we'll be talking about Carson Soucy and his collide with Connor McDavid as time expired in this game, and what the NHL decided to do towards handing out fines and suspensions and all that.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, guys, we are back, and we're talking. And we are talking Carson Soucy's and Nikita Zadorov's hits on Connor McDavid here. So, breaking news from the NHL again. We're talking Carson Soucy was suspended 1 game for his hit on Connor McDavid in this one. For those of you guys that have not seen the clip, and I'd be shocked if you haven't yet, Carson Soucy and Connor McDavid are kind of exchanging words after this game. This is after the buzzer sounded, after the Canucks won the game already. McDavid gives him a slash to the leg. And then Nikita Zadorov comes from behind Connor McDavid, gives him a cross check. You can kind of see it on the screen right now. You can kind of see where his hands are here. On McDavid's back. It pushes McDavid back, and at the exact same time that Nikita Zadorov is giving that cross check on the back, Carson Soucy is giving it on the front. And it catches McDavid in the face, actually, instead of on the chest where you assume that Carson Soucy is aiming for. This is a dangerous play here. This is a play that should never happen. Really, really dirty from the Canucks here. And it's not... I don't take exception to what Carson Soucy does here. I take exception to what Nikita Zadorov is doing here. You coming from behind here, you're giving him a cross check that pushes him down. You got your teammate already in front of him. Your teammate's got it, man. If you want to do anything, grab him with your arm. Don't use your stick. Don't push him down. Don't do what Nikita Zadorov did here. I mean there's ways to stick up for your teammate, which is what Nikita Zadorov's doing here. He's not trying to de-escalate the situation. He's just trying to come in and bully McDavid, kind of stick up for his teammate who just got slashed in the leg there. It's a dangerous one. It cannot happen here, especially and it can't happen to any player. And this is a big argument that's going around social media, but does it matter? The question is, does it matter that it happened to Connor McDavid? And the answer has to be yes. This is the number 1 superstar in the NHL. This is the face of the NHL right now. This is the best player in the NHL by far. This is the best player the NHL has seen since, I would say, since Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux. You could probably say Sidney Crosby, and I would not have a problem with that. But this is a absolute generational player, one of the greatest player in the NHL right now. So you're gonna have to protect him, and the NHL knows that he's gonna. I mean, every league does this. You just automatically protect your stars. So clearly, something was gonna come out from this. I thought that Nikita Zadorov. This is before I saw any of the official hearings or anything from that came out from this afternoon. I thought Nikita Zadorov and Carson Soucy should have been suspended 1 game both. and McDavid may be fined by the NHLPA for the slash that he gave, because I mean he does start this. It's not physical until he slashes him. So, although he definitely got the butt end of the stick here, he is the one that starts this, so he probably does need some punishment as well, in my opinion. But really, for Carson Soucy to have been the only one to get any, he's the one that got suspended here. He's the only one that really got any repercussion here. Nikita Zadorov, he does get a $5,000 fine in this. But for Carson Soucy to be the one that gets suspended, I don't like it. It's his shot that meets McDavid's face, and that's what the NHLPA sees, and that's what they're punishing on. But it's an unlucky play for Carson Soucy. It's a dirty play for Nikita Zadorov. You're coming from behind and you're pushing a guy down. Nikita Zadorov doesn't have a point to be in this argument besides stepping up for a teammate, which is fine. If you want to step up for a teammate, that's fine. But don't go about it how he did go about it. You need to, if you're going to step up for a teammate, you're going to need to, like I said earlier, just wrap around, grab him, pull McDavid back, get him away from Carson Soucy, and then maybe, push him around, give him a little jab with the glove. Don't come from behind him, push on his back while your teammate is already doing something, man. Well, it's dirty. It absolutely is dirty from Nikita Zadorov here. So for him to only get $5,000 and Carson Soucy to be suspended, I think it's unlucky for Carson Soucy. So what could this mean for the series here? Carson Soucy is a really good player. For tomorrow night, being without him is going to suck for the Vancouver Canucks. So you're missing your second defensive pairing. You're missing a second line guy in all of your special teams. He's the second power play. I think he quarterbacks the second power play, if I'm not mistaken. But I know he is on the ice for it. And he definitely plays a pivotal role on the penalty kill, as you have really two lines that you run out there on the kill consistently when you're the Canucks here. So to be without him is going to suck. His defense has been great this playoffs. And he has 4 assists as well in the playoffs, a +3 rating. It's gonna be a big blow for the Canucks to be without him. Nikita Zadorov has been playing better, so if you're the Canucks, if you're picking one of the two, you're gonna pick Carson Soucy to be the one that goes. But yeah, this is a play that doesn't need to happen. I'm very happy that we're seeing the NHL protect their stars here, protect Connor McDavid. And while you might go like one game, man, that's low for something that happened. It's a cross check that met this guy's face, like that might be low for some of you guys. But when you're talking about the playoffs, the NHL doesn't really want to discipline guys past really that far into the playoffs. This kind of goes to why I'm shocked about the Valeri Nichushkin news so much. But yeah, when you're going into Carson Soucy here, one game I think is plenty. It's not on purpose hitting him in the face. This kind of proves that it's not on purpose. Look at where his arms are in this picture that you're seeing right now. His arms are down. He's pushing down. He was trying to get him in the chest. He was just trying to this would not be a problem if Nikita Zadorov didn't push him down and his face isn't going down. So one game is plenty for this instance specifically. But that's enough on Carson Soucy, as he will be suspended one game for this hit on Connor McDavid. It won't affect the series too much, but this is a guy that you're going to hate losing if you are the Vancouver Canucks. And with that, we're going to take our last break of the night, and I'm going to give you my series, not my series breakdown. I'm going to give you my preview on tonight's matchup between the Rangers, Canes, and the Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. All right, guys, we are back, and we're going right into previewing. It's weird where my time slot is right now. I'm talking about games that are currently going on as like preview. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a recap in the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers game, and I'll talk about previewing the Dallas Stars and Colorado Avalanche game. I guess that makes the most sense with where the time is being live right now here. Carolina Hurricanes just beat the New York Rangers 4-1 in this Game 5 here. You have great production from from Carolina Hurricanes, kind of middle six really in this game. The Rangers looked like they were gonna get this game, the Rangers looked like they were gonna steal another game with Igor Shesterkin here going into the third period. It was a 1-0 game off of a Jacob Trouba goal. An unassisted Jacob Trouba goal while they were shorthanded here. It was just an odd man rush that Jacob Trouba just snipes it right underneath Freddie Anderson's, I believe it was his blocker, right underneath his blocker. So the Rangers go into the second intermission up 1-0. This low scoring game up until that point, but early in the third, the Hurricanes were able to tie the game up. From Jordan Staal. That was a feed from Dmitry Orlov. Let me tell you, that goal from Jordan Staal was absolutely nasty. He takes this puck to the front of the net, and he just is very patient with it, goes around the goaltender, and he was able to score this goal. Makes it a 1-1 game here. Evgeny Kuznetsov is the next one to score. This is an assist from Brady Shea and Jesper Kotkaniemi. Like I said, this middle six is what's really working for the Carolina Hurricanes right now. And Brady Shea, goal scorers, and when they see the puck going into the net, they start to contribute a lot offensively, and this is an assist for this guy. Then you have Jordan Martinook. That's his second goal of this postseason. Feeds from Drury and Valeri Nichushkin, and it kind of looked like the Rangers were a little bit checked after that second goal, and this third goal kind of showed it. It was a weird third period for the Rangers. You don't have Igor standing like a brick wall in the net like he did in the first two intermissions. And this is kind of, it's very a reverse from what we've been seeing from the Carolina Hurricanes in these playoffs or in this series. They were winning the first couple of periods for the first couple of games. They just kind of fell apart at the end, and they were losing the one-score games. But in this game, they were able to win by 3 goals, and on Saturday they were able to beat the Rangers out by 1 goal. In a 4-3 victory there. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, they end the game off with a Valeri Nichushkin empty netter. Things are going right for them right now. Are they able to click fully here? It's going to be interesting to see. Of course, they were down 3-0. Got a little scary for them. It's going into Game 6 now in Carolina, where, if we were looking at Game 6 in a vacuum, Carolina down only 3-2 in this series now. It's interesting if you're looking at it in a vacuum, but you can't look at these games in a vacuum, right? You got to understand that the Carolina Hurricanes just took 2 games straight, and what are the chances that they can take 4 games in a row? Or do you look at it kind of like they need to beat the Rangers only 2 times in a row? They just need to win 2 games straight, and they move on. Of course, they're going to go with the latter, but it's interesting to see what the thought is on, like the general public, what they're really thinking about this one. It is really hard to beat Igor Shesterkin 4 times in a row. Like I said, I don't know if the Rangers lost 4 in a row during the entire regular season. I would not be shocked if they did not. This is really a good team, President's Trophy winning team. I don't see them dropping this series. From this point, even, I didn't think that they were going to drop these 2 games, though. I thought that this was going to be just a gentleman's sweep for the Rangers. I thought they were going to take this game, and the Rangers were going to win in 5. However, my prediction before the second round was Rangers in 6. So, maybe the Carolina Hurricanes just wanted to prove my prediction correctly. That may be the only series I get right. But I said Panthers in 5. I said Rangers in 6. Panthers in 5 is looking good. They're up 3-1 in their series there. I said the Avalanche in 6. That's looking wrong, as the Dallas Stars take a 1-0 lead on the Colorado Avalanche in that game. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Shots on goal. Oh, we'll talk about that later. We'll wrap up with the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes real quick here. The Carolina Hurricanes can do this. The Carolina Hurricanes can make this comeback. They have the team for it. They're very talented. They're a gritty squad. They're very fast, very young, and they're great. The announcers were talking about, they're losing a lot in this offseason. They have like 6 UFAs going into next year. This does include Jake Gensel, who was a trade deadline acquisition. I don't know if it includes Evgeny Kuznetsov. I wouldn't be shocked if it does. It does include Teuvo Teravainen, who I would be shocked if he doesn't go back to Carolina, as he's really found a home there. He's been great there. Him, Aho, and Andrei Svechnikov have been a great line in Carolina his entire tenure there. So I'd be shocked if he doesn't go back to Carolina, but he could go. You also have Brady Shea, Anthony D'Angelo, and one other defenseman, Brett Pesce, I think, is the other defenseman, who are all UFAs as well. So it's going to be interesting to see the Carolina Hurricanes might be playing like their life depends on it, because they really want to win this cup with this core together here while it's still together. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fight in this Game 6, as I expect it to be a great game, a very exciting one on Wednesday night. I believe it's on Wednesday night. It might be on Saturday. It is on Saturday, maybe. I don't know. They haven't announced the schedule yet, because I don't think the NHL... Oh, it's Thursday. That's when the game is. Okay. So Game 6 will be Thursday night. But that's enough on the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers series for right now. As we're talking Stars and Avalanche, the Dallas Stars are up 1-0 in this series from a shorthanded goal via Wyatt Johnston and Sam Steele. That's Wyatt Johnston's 6th goal of the playoffs here. 14 shots on goal to 2 in the first period. I'm excited to wrap this thing up and watch the rest of this hockey game, because I think it's going to be a good one. The Avalanche just might be checked. They just might be checked out of this series. Losing Valeri Nichushkin, that's what we started this off, and this was probably what we're going to end off talking about. That's a huge swing when you're talking about the Colorado Avalanche. Not having that first line right wing, and I've been in here, I haven't been able to be out there, so I don't know if Jonathan Drouin is even playing in this game here. That's very disappointing for the Colorado Avalanche. Only 2 shots on goal in 20 minutes. 1 shot on goal in 10 minutes played. It's really, really bad. You have 4-on-4 hockey now. It's sad to see them going out kind of sorry here if they were to lose this game. Of course they can make a comeback here. You still got superstar. You still have a great core here. Mikko Rantanen, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Arturi Lehkonen. These guys are great. Zach Parise has always been a star in this league. These guys are still great. These guys are a fantastic hockey team. Devin Taves is also really good. But it's going to need to be better for the Colorado Avalanche. 2 shots on net in an entire period is not going to get it done. I'd be very worried if I were them. This game is also in Colorado, so this is a must-win game. Going down 3-1 without your leading goal scorer in the playoffs here. You have 2 times that you're going to be away also. It's not good for the Avalanche. They're going to need to fight back in this one like their life depends on it. That coach is going to have to say something in the locker room here to turn things up for the Colorado Avalanche. But really for them, they need their superstars to be better. And it's funny, I did write this little topic here before, the Valeri Nichushkin news dropped. So you're losing one of these stars here. But you're going to need Nathan McKinnon, you're going to need Mikko Rantanen, and you're going to need Cale Makar to steal you a couple games, as they should be able to steal you a couple games. I would be a little bit worried for them when it comes down the stretch in these playoffs. I don't think that they can win a cup without that star that they had in Valeri Nichushkin. It doesn't take one guy to win a cup, but losing one guy can ruin your chances at winning a cup. And you could really see that when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche here. As I said, they're going to need a step up in the aggregate, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can step up in the aggregate. This series is another one that I'm very excited to watch. This game's going to be very telling, so I can't wait to watch the rest of this game here, as it is currently in the intermission. So I'm going to go do that. So this will conclude this Monday night podcast from the GSMC Hockey Podcast. Thank you guys for being able to tune in. Your support means a lot to us. So please remember to subscribe to this show, leave a positive review on whatever you're watching the podcast on. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and much more for content and updates. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day, guys.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.